Shedeur Sanders was taken in the 5th round of the NFL draft by the Cleveland Browns, pick 144. In some cases, that's 143 spots away from where, some people, when the season ended, thought he would have been drafted, which is number 1 overall. Let's talk about it and how I believe the NFL has sent a message, a clear and concise message, to not just Shedeur Sanders and Coach Prime, but to all the upcoming quarterbacks. I'm making this specific to quarterbacks. Future NFL quarterbacks, future NFL draftees, about how you're never bigger than the shield. Why that message to me was very, very clear in what they sent in this drafting of Shaduer Sanders. Let's talk about it after the bumper. Stay tuned. What is going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? My name is JeffLightsyJr. This is the Victory Formation Sports Show right here on JeffLightsYjr. YouTube, Facebook, wherever you get your content. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe as we get into the topic because we have a heavy one today. I've been taking in the discourse of the Shedeur Sanders slide that took place in the 2025 NFL draft. So if you don't know, let me just give you brief context. Shedeur Sanders, one of the most talented quarterbacks coming out in this weaker 2025 quarterback draft. Nonetheless, he was still one of the most talented. I thought he was the most talented. I've been calling for a year that I thought Shedeur Sanders would be a top 5, top 10 pick, and that wasn't the case. Instead of being a top 5, a top 10, a first round pick, Shedeur Sanders doesn't go in round 1, 2, 3, or 4. He goes in round 5 and pick 144 by the Cleveland Browns, a team that had passed up on him at least 4 times, and actually 5 times, but it actually took a quarterback in the 3rd round and picked 94 over Shedeur to circle it back and get Shedeur pick number 144. Now, to me, this was very, very clear what this was doing. This was sending a message to Shedeur, to Coach Prime, but not just to them, but to the future quarterbacks that are coming out into the 26, 27, 28 NFL draft. These quarterbacks that are in this transfer portal heavy era and this NIL era. It was a message sent to all of them. The Nico Imaliavas, his brother Madden, all of these guys that are uber talented, but hey, you're not bigger than the shield. Let's start with Shedeur. Shedeur during the pre-draft process came off very brash, very arrogant, had a lot of bravado. Hey, if you don't draft me, if you don't want a culture changer, don't draft me if you're not ready for somebody to come in and change things right away. We've done it at Jackson. We've done it at Colorado. We're going to do it at whatever place that we're going. Shedeur doesn't throw at the pro day. He like Colorado. Well, he throws at Colorado's pro day. He doesn't throw at the Big 12 showcase, doesn't throw at the combine, and he doesn't throw or do anything at the East-West Shrine Bowl. That's not a good look, right? I get it. A lot of quarterbacks don't throw at the combine anymore, but to just show up in sweats and a shirt at the East West Shrine, at the Big 12 showcase, and then finally to only throw one time at the Colorado Pro Day, it's not a good sign for a prospect that the NFL clearly didn't think was that good. Let's make this abundantly clear. You may fall out of the 1st round because of quote unquote character issues or whatever the case may be. You don't fall to the 5th round because they think you're a superstar and they're trying to humble you. No, you fall to the 5th round because they don't think you're that good. Like somebody would have took a flyer on Shedeur Sanders in the first 5 rounds before pick the first 143 picks if they thought he was a superstar waiting. No, they all saw Shedeur as a backup, at least as of now, as a project and someone that they can eventually develop potentially into a starter. But you don't take a guy this late if you think he is a day 1 starter. You just don't. I'm sorry. And I'm not just talking about the Browns. I'm talking about the entire league. Oh, the collusion. No. NFL GMs and coaches, first of all, there's only 64 of them, right? There's 32 coaches, there's 32 GMs. A lot of these guys, the lifespan of a coach, the average lifespan is like 4 or 5 years, right? The lifespan of the GM, roughly the same. You're not passing up on a guy that can help you extend your lifespan and not get you fired just to send a message to that kid. That's not how the NFL works. It has never worked like that. It doesn't work like that to this day. And Shedeur clearly wasn't that talented to them, like talented enough to take on all the other stuff, the stuff like not throwing, not doing well in the interviews, kind of trying to dictate where he goes. And that goes to my second point to Deion Sanders. Up until literally like through the through the Super Bowl, which was in February, Deion was going on multiple shows, multiple podcasts, multiple clips. His clips are all over the internet saying, we're going to dictate where Shaduer goes, and Travis, but we're going to dictate where Shaduer goes. We don't like the situation. We're going to steer that team away from Shaduer. Red flag number 2. It's like, it's the NFL. You don't dictate where you go. These are job interviews that when you're interviewing with these teams, these are job interviews. When you're showing up to these places and not doing what the rest of the guys, like a Jackson Dart, is doing, what the rest of the guys interviewing, saying the things that the rest of the guys, like a Cam Ward, a Jalen Milroe, a Dylan Gabriel, a Tyler Shuck, are doing, because Jackson Dart and Tyler Shuck threw at the combine. Jackson Dart and Tyler Shuck talked to and did all the workouts and did all the pro days and did all the all-star events. Jackson Dart, Cam Ward came in there humble, ready, with better tools and better gifts than Shaduer. Cam Ward's father wasn't saying we're going to dictate where Cam Ward goes in the draft. No, Cam Ward just showed up with his hard hat on and said, I'm ready to play football. When he was working out with Shaduer, Shedur's like, yo, I rap. You might rap or something. Let's make a song. Cam Ward's like, nah, man, I'm a football player. When people Google me, I want them to Google and see American football player. There's a clip surfacing right now about that. They're out there training together. And Shedur's like, hey, let's make a song, perfect time, and watch, diamond chains, all this stuff. Cam Ward's like, oh, I'm a freaking football player, dude. I play football. I don't make music. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe I make music on the side, but I make music for me. I don't make music for the world because I play football for the world. I don't want the world to be confused on what's going on. And everything doesn't have to be a marketing campaign. Like, especially before you make it. Like, you haven't made it yet. You made a bunch of money in the NIL and did a lot of great things in college football. Hell, got your jersey retired at Colorado. As controversial as that is, it's up there and it's up there forever as far as I know. I wouldn't have did it. You shouldn't have been done. But nonetheless, it's happening. But there's too many things outside of football, and you play the quarterback position. Your father's saying they're going to dictate where you're going in the draft. You aren't taking the interview process seriously. Clearly, you didn't take the interview process seriously. And you want these NFL teams to toss you the keys to their multi-billion-dollar franchise? Now, some people will push back and say, Jeff, Johnny Manziel, he didn't have to wait to the 5th round. Baker Mayfield, he didn't have to wait to the 5th round. One, let's start here. Both of those players were more accomplished than Shaduer in college. Johnny Manziel won both Johnny and Baker both won Heismans. Johnny beat Alabama. Baker went toe-to-toe with Georgia. Shaduer went 13-12 in college. Let's not get it twisted. Those guys are more accomplished than Shaduer in college. And those guys were better prospects than Shaduer in college. Baker obviously ultimately went number 1 and had better physical tools. He had a rocket arm. He's a squidget, right? Like, he's not that big. And he's not the most athletic, but he's more athletic than Shaduer. And he had a rocket for an arm. And granted, I wouldn't have took Baker number 1. I wouldn't have. And it played out that way in Cleveland. But Baker was clearly a better prospect than Shaduer because he's showing it now. He's a Pro Bowler now. He's with Tampa Bay on a $100 million contract now. So it shows you, like, the tools were always there. It was the attitude. It was too much bravado. It was too much, a lot of stuff that's getting Shaduer in trouble. Or got Shaduer, not necessarily in trouble. Let me take that back because he has never been in trouble. But got Shaduer that caused him to slide. And Johnny, the same stuff. And what teams are doing, what I believe, teams are looking at that and like, you're right. They did go before Shaduer. You don't think teams can learn from their mistakes? You don't think teams can learn from the mistake of taking a Johnny Manziel, a very cocky, brash dude, in the 1st round and becoming a bust? Now, Shaduer doesn't have nearly the off-the-field stuff that Johnny Manziel had, but at the same time, the same cockiness, arrogance, bravado that led to the downfall of Johnny Manziel. I'm not saying it's going to lead to the downfall of Shaduer, but it led to the downfall of his draft stock. It damn sure led to the downfall of his draft stock. And once again, those two guys were better prospects. They were more accomplished in college than Shaduer. They were. They just were. At bigger time programs, won Heisman's, beat better teams, did more amazing things, etc., etc. So there's that. And lastly, to the future NIL babies, transfer portal babies, the guys coming up in this transfer portal NIL era, this is a message to you. You're not bigger than the shield. At the end of the day, the NFL stands behind that shield. And they have proven over and over and over and over and over again to every single guy that has ever put on an NFL jersey. They have made it abundantly clear that no one player is bigger than the shield. And when Shedeur Sanders tries to manipulate the pre-draft process the way he did, when his father tries to manipulate the pre-draft process like they did, and to them he's not that talented, then they're going to show you that we don't think you're that talented. Oh, you got this great rapport with Tom Brady. Got this great rapport with Tom Brady. You train and work out, and he's your mentor. Passed up on you six times or so. Oh, the New York Giants, you're wearing their cleats. Another red flag. Out there wearing their cleats at bowl games, hanging out in Times Square with Malik Neighbors, making all these innuendos and references about playing with the Giants, about playing with the Pittsburgh Steelers, doing all these different things. Wearing Giants cleats at a Colorado bowl game that you went out there and got blown out in, by the way. No, that's not going to work. It's not going to work in the NFL because the thing is, there's quarterbacks who don't do these things, who are more talented than Shaduer that don't work, right? Trevor Lawrence hasn't quite worked yet. Tua Tagovailoa hasn't quite worked yet. Like these guys haven't quite. Jordan Love had a down season, took a little slump. CJ Stroud had a sophomore slump. He still went to the playoffs, but he had a sophomore slump. And there's countless of other guys who either hit slumps, hasn't quite worked yet, or were just complete bust. Daniel Jones, bust. Trey Lance, bust. Mac Jones, bust. Zach Wilson, bust. Sam Darnold, for the first 7 years of his career, was a bust. And these guys had none of those things going on with him. None of them. None of them. None of the off the field stuff. None of the podcast stuff. None of the wearing the Giants cleats to a bowl game stuff. None of that. None of the father dictating where he wants you to go in the draft stuff. None of the father or the fans vilifying anybody that has legit analysis about the player and his game and the you kind of doing too much aspect of his life. None of that. Or you're an Uncle Tom or a coon if you say the real thing that's happening. That the NFL teams clearly didn't see him as talented as some of us or the draft evaluators or whoever thought. The NFL, the ones that actually matter, the ones actually going to hire you, because I'm not going to hire Shaduer. Deion's not going to hire Shaduer. Neither is ESPN. Neither is Fox or CBS. The NFL, the teams in the NFL were the ones who were putting on the job interviews, the ones that were going to hire Shedeur Sanders. And they said that there were 143 players they'd rather have before him. They said it, not me. I said I would have took him in the top 10. That's what I said. But they said there were 143 and 5 other quarterbacks we would like more than you at this time, at this current juncture. That's what they said. The ones that matter. All 32 teams passed up on you at least 5 times. At least. So I think this is a clear and concise message to Deion that doing things this way, if you're going to try to do it for Julian Lewis or Caden Salter or whoever, it's not going to work. All the glitz and the glam and the cameras and the comments and the podcast appearances and all of that stuff, the NFL doesn't want all of that. And they damn sure don't want all of that for a guy that they consider, at least as of now, as a backup. They don't want that. It's too noisy. They don't want what they consider, at least as of now, because they took him in the 5th round, backup to be too damn noisy. For the backups pops to be too noisy. For the backup to be showing up with $10 million worth of jewelry on and having a draft party with the word legendary plastered everywhere. They're telling you that they don't want that. This big ass chain that he had on during the draft. They're telling you they don't want that. That's not me. That's them. And they're the ones that matter. So this was a clear and direct message sent to Deion, sent to Shaduer, and sent to all the NIL transfer babies that are currently playing college football. This isn't the way. If you're thinking about doing your pre-draft process like this, if you're thinking about having these cameras everywhere, if you're thinking about making rap songs all the time, if you're thinking about doing podcasts before you get drafted, if you think that retiring your jersey or getting your jersey retired when you went 13-12 as a starter before you even get freaking drafted is the way to go as a quarterback, you better think again, because the NFL just sent the message that ain't it, especially if we consider you a backup or a backup type talent, at least as of now. They just sent the message. The message was clear. And I know people want to say, oh, it's just race and collusion and all. Nah. I mean, maybe a little bit collusion to send a message to a kid that they believe is only talented enough to be a backup as of now. Yeah, sure, maybe. But you think if Caleb Williams would have did all these exact same things, Caleb Williams black, that he would have lasted the 5th round, or Jaden Daniels, or Cam Ward, or whoever? Just pick your favorite quarterbacks come out in the last 5 years. CJ Stroud, Bryce Young. No, because the talent would have outweighed. So, they might not have went number 1 overall or top 3 like they did, like some of those guys did. They wouldn't have lasted to pick 144. I can tell you that. Because the talent would have outweighed that. So they told you, okay, on a talent perspective, he's down here. And then all the other stuff that comes with it, nah, we'll wait. We'll wait on that. We'll wait on getting him because we already think he's not as talented as the media, the rest of the people think. We're telling you we don't think he's that good. And then all the other stuff, yeah, we just don't want no parts of that. We just want no parts of that. Whether that's fair or not, I don't know. It's up for you to decide. But they sent a clear and concise message. To me, it's clear as day. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Shedeur Sanders taken in pick 144. And I think a message was sent to Deion, Shedeur, and the future quarterbacks in this NIL transfer portal, all the future quarterbacks in the NIL transfer portal era, that this ain't the way to go. Do not handle your pre-draft process and take these comments that Deion and others said. Don't do it. Stay far, far away from it. Or you could be in a similar situation. And I think a lot of kids will learn from this because a lot of kids look up to Shedeur and like Shedeur and love his bravado and glitz and the glam and the money and the chains. But they're going to have to look hard in the mirror and be like, do I want to be waiting on draft day like Shedeur to the 5th round? Because 5th round picks get cut every day, G. Yeah, this ain't over there. You don't get the leash that a 1st round pick does. 5th round picks get cut quick. And I don't think that's what they want to do. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Once again, my name is JeffLightsyJr. This is the Victory Formation Sports Show right here on JeffLightsYjr. YouTube, Facebook, wherever you get your content. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, notification bell because I upload all the time. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you next time.